I absolutely... He's a musician. Musician. It's not that hard to say. Hey fellow fiction fanatics, I'm Chase. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly wrap-up for August. In August, I was able to read 4 books, and by doing so, I was able to complete my summer TBR challenges. Alright, let's get into it. The first book I was able to read was Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Reed. So in this book, we feature Summaries, who is not your traditional princess. All the traditional princess duties bore her. She's not interested in them whatsoever. But anytime she tries to deviate from these and do something that does interest her, she's scolded and forbidden to do it again. So one day she decides to become a dragon's princess, something that no one has ever volunteered to do before. And that's just how her story begins. This was a really fun, lighthearted story, and this was also a really quick read, but because of that, I can't really say too much without going into spoilers. I did really like Summaries and her can-do attitude. She was so fun. I just loved her personality. And her dragon, Kazul, was phenomenal as well. I really enjoyed those two together, and I loved the childlike feel of the story. This is the first in a series, and I'm not sure where it's gonna go next, but I am looking forward to reading more in this series. So hopefully I can do that pretty soon. And overall, I gave this book 4.5 stars, and I'm very happy that I picked it up. The second book I was able to read was The Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan. So timid Nina wants nothing more than to be surrounded by books. She absolutely loves books and loves her job at the library. Unfortunately, the library she's working for is about to be closed down, and she has to look for other job prospects. Deep down, she dreams of opening her own bookshop, but that's just not in the cards. She doesn't have enough money to open a bookshop in the city, but she feels like she can't just leave these books behind. So that's a little bit about how the story starts off. I was really looking forward to this book, and I thought the dedication was 5 stars. It was amazing. I wish the whole book could have been like that. I thought Nina and her bookshop and figuring all that out, I would definitely give that 4 stars. I was happily looking forward to seeing how everything turned out. And then the book switched and it became a romance. The romance definitely wasn't for me. At first they just started off tolerating each other and then brooding over one another, and then suddenly they needed one another, but they barely talked to each other throughout the book. It was just ridiculous to me and I didn't get it. So yeah, I did not like the romance. So unfortunately, I ended up giving this book 2.5 stars. And it only got the 0.5 because I loved the beginning. So yeah, but this book did help me complete the challenge to read a book featuring a bookish main character. The third book I was able to read was The Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. So it's been 2 years since Sloane's fiance died, and she's still brokenhearted. One day on her way to her fiance's grave, she almost hits a dog. After trying to contact Tucker's owner and getting no response, she decides to take him home. And Tucker starts making her feel like her old self again. 2 weeks go by and she gets a call from Jason, Tucker's owner, who tells her he's a musician who's been on tour in Australia and he wants his dog back. At first, Sloane refuses to give Tucker back, but then they strike a deal. As Sloane and Jason start corresponding, their messages become more and more flirtatious, and that's how their romance begins. I absolutely fell in love with this book. I love these characters and the relationship. I love that Tucker was such a prominent point in their relationship. I loved that we got dual perspectives, so we got to see both Jason and Sloane and what they were thinking and going through. I love the relationship between Sloane and her friend Kristen. Each chapter was a song title, which I thought was a nice touch. And I really enjoyed the surprises, both the good and the bad. There were definitely many times when I was going, there are only so many chapters left. How are they gonna resolve this? That epilogue was utter perfection. I loved it so much. To be honest, I was expecting more music from this book, and we were probably about a quarter of the way through the book when Sloane kisses Jason and she says that she's never kissed someone with a beard before. And I went, wait, Jason has a beard? Not in my brain, he doesn't. He hasn't had a beard so far, and I'm not changing it. I need to know these details early if I'm going to picture them properly. Does anyone else do that? It's like you learn someone has a different hair color than you pictured, and you're like, not anymore. The only thing I didn't like was the camping scene. If you don't want the sex scene, just skip that, but otherwise, I loved it. So overall, I gave this book 5 stars, and it completed my challenge to read a book with 5 or more words in the title. And the 4th book I was able to read was Playing with Fire by Derek Landy. This is the 2nd book in the Skullduggery Pleasant series, so I can't say too much, but I really did enjoy this book. So in this book, our main character teams up with our favorite skeleton detective once again to learn more about magic and save the world. I love the humor in this book, and I think the characters are great. I think Skullduggery and our main character just have the best banter. It is so fun, and I love that they just tease each other all the time. I thought the new villains were really cool, and there's definitely some that I'm sure we'll see in the future. The stakes were definitely raised in this one, and I thought it was really cool that in this book we no longer address our main character by her name, we only address her by her taken name. I thought that was a really cool touch because it emphasizes the magic of names. I love that the story is filled with magic, adventure, and of course, danger. This book definitely got darker and more violent than the first one, so like I said, I'm gonna be a little vague about this, but whatever's going on with her reflection, I don't like it, and it's kind of creeping me out. So that needs to be resolved. But overall, I gave this book 4.5 stars, and this helped me complete my Flip a Card challenge. So those are all the books I was able to read in August. I'd love to know some books you were able to read, and if you've read any of these, I'd love to know what you thought of them. So let me know down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share the love. I'll see you next time. Bye!